What's up, guys? Tony McGee's Games, and today we got another BT-12 deck for you guys, and that is Wargreymon. No Black Wargreymon. Honestly, I think if you're playing Black Wargreymon, if you're going against a Wargreymon matchup, you're going to have to play a game of chicken where you're raising out second every single time. Anytime you push out, Wargreymon's going to be 3000k more beefier than you, and plus all its inheritables, so your stack will always just go down. So we're here talking about Wargreymon. It is black and reds. That means we're still playing with Hades forces, and yeah, it makes every Hunter deck and Crossheart deck shiver in our timbers. But before we get to all that nonsense, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget to check our pro site at www.geeklegiongames.com for all your singles, sealed for Digimon, Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And without further ado, let's get with the deck profile. Alright, starting with the deck profile. Only thing you really need is probably this Koromon. When you're going to push out, you're going for game with this, because you can just swing 6 checks just like Grandis by swinging 3, security piercing, restand, swing again. It is literally, this is just a red-black version of Grandis. And that's why when we get further into the video, we're not running any cool boys, because we just need to go to our level 5, 6 and just go for there. But we do run them, so that'll be in the comments below if you really think that cool boys need it, but when we get to that, of course. Spoiler alert. But anyway, pretend this Agumon is the Structure Deck 7, because Structure Deck 7 one is infinitely better. I just didn't have enough time to sleep it in, so I just had this and said, screw it, I'm going to start the video. You can run this promo if you want to, but the Structure Deck 7 has a when attacking, if you're attacking a player, gain plus 2000, which you know what Wargreymon can do? It can swing into a player, go into a Digimon right after that, get that plus 2000, restand, swing security again, and get another 2000. That's having 2 of these bad boys under there swing at the same time. And also the card's dirt cheap. This card right now is probably running $10, $15 right now. I could be wrong. It could be under 10, around 10. And the Structure Deck 7 cents, pennies, if anything like that. 25 cents, I don't know. But it's dirt cheap. So, Structure Deck 7s, there you go. Up next, we got the new Agumons right here. This is the on-play Digivolve 0 and the Koromon on the back. If not, Digivolve for 1. It's a little sad, but it'll be for 0 if we need to. But real top 4 cards of your deck, and you may pull a Greymon or an Omnimon. You pick one or the other, and you pick tie out. So if you hit tie, and you're a 4, you get to pick up tie and a Greymon. If you don't need a Greymon, you need Omnimon and tie, you can go ahead and pick up those 2. So most likely or not, you're going to be drawing 2 off this. And that has a really nice inheritable, which is all turns gain 1000. It's really nice. Up next, I'm running 2 copies of the BT-5 Agumon here, which reveals the top 3 cards of our deck, and we can pull an Omnimon and a Greymon. So if you put, I switched the names back, sorry. But anyway, if you hit those 2, go ahead and pull them both. Because we're running two Omnimons in here, so we want to try to find them as quick as possible. Same thing with these 4 Agumons. We're running 14. I got sick and tired running at 13 and still getting bricked with no rookies in my hand, so we added another one, and let me tell you, I see nothing but rookies, and they're all the searchers here, which is really nice. We don't run the mem boost because we got 10 cards right here that help us search top 3, top 4, so we're going to be finding our pieces no matter what, and then if we really need to, we can Digivolve or whatever. But anyway, look at the top 3 cards here. Evos over an Agumon for free. You can pull a Greymon or a Omnimon, and we get the X antibody, of course. So another draw 2 if you hit your Greymon or your Omnimon if you need it, and then the X antibody. That would be it for our level 3s. On to your level 4s. Running 3 copies of the Security Plus Tac Greymon. You can run this at 4. I'm trying to find my 4th copy, but for hindsight and just trying to get this video out there, we have 3. I have been playtesting at 3. It is completely fine, but once I get my 4th copy, I will try to make room for that. We got 2 copies of Greymon here from the BT-5, which gives us plus 2000 as our inheritable, and it can Evo over for 1 if we have an Agumon and Digivolution sources. Up next, I'm running 1 copy of the new Greymon here. I did run this at 4, and to be honest with you, I didn't like it at 4, because there would be times I just Digivolve this in the back here, and I ended up playing tie out anyway to pass the turn, either choking him at 1, 2, or even giving him a 3 memory. It doesn't really matter. But once that tie's out there, you have multiple copies of this. It just really does nothing. The only thing it's going to do is just give you that inheritable buff plus 1000. So if you have this in the new Agumon, you have a static 2000 on your turn, which is neat because it makes your opponent have to think, like, can they really swing over your stack safely? Then lastly, for our Greymon X antibodies, we're running 3 copies of the OG Greymon X antibody with its inheritable. If we get deleted by an effect or bounce a hand or under deck, you get to split 2 sources. And then we have the broken version of that, which we get to only bottom deck an X antibody. If this card was still a 4-of, my golly, this would be the deck to play. But unfortunately, it gets restricted to 1 because our new Metal Greymon would be fucking broken. Always evoing for 1 is ridiculous. But that is it for our level 4s. Like I said, once we get, you can play the 4 security +1, so make sure you're always going for games. Up next, we have the new Metal Greymon here. We are not playing the BT-8 Greymon because it'll always evo for 4, which will always pass turn, even if we back here or not. But it has a neat raid mechanic. We raid into something, we get to play out a level 4 tamer. A 4-cost tamer or less, which is our Yuya's ties and more ties. So yeah, we're gonna do that. But most of the time or not, you're just gonna Digivolve this in the back, most likely. Push out, go into this Metal Greymon here, which is the X antibody, running 3 copies of this bad boy to give us that +1 security and that sweet more DP, which is 3000. And that's because we're going for game here. But if you really can't go for game, you want to get out more tamers, whatever, you can go ahead and just swing into a Digimon. And then, obviously, if we have X antibody, the option card, you can go in and put it under this, swing into it, whatever. I mean, you're not going to get, then you'll get the piercing effect, and then you can go up and do whatever after that. And then we're running the 1 other copy of the Altarius mode, just in case we don't have our level 4 Greymon X antibody. We got 1 more shot to get our level 5. We can slot this in. Also, it can delete any Digimon with 5 costs or less as long as we have a tamer out in the field, which is really neat as well. So it's only 8 copies of our level 5s. Nothing more to say there. On to our level 6s, which we get to the spikes of the deck. Running 4 full copies of the new Wargreymon here. This card is cracked. This card is basically Grandis Kawagumon with his raid mechanic. When Digivolving, it gains a reboot and plus 3000 to the end of your opponent's turn. So right off the bat, it's already 15k, plus whatever inheritables you got going on with this. Go ahead and swing into their Digimon, restand, get piercing, do your X checks there, then do it again to another Digimon, swing X checks, and then you go into Omni for game, which we'll get to that in a second. But for the rest of our level 6s, we're running 1 copy of the Wargreymon with the 2nd anniversary one. Just in case if these 2 are flex spots. I'm not sure what I actually really want these to be. But so far, this is what this is. If I'm going up against, a Setcon, I have this, whatever. Or anyone playing heavily, options, whatever. Debating if I want to bring this to regionals, whatever, for more testing. These 2 cards would be this copy. We won't even run the X antibody. And then we just have the X antibody option guy here too. We can swing with X checks we got, gain X memory, and pop another Digimon if we need to. That, is suspended. We can't obviously raid with this. And then finally, Omnis for game. We got 2 different alts here. I try to find the same ones, but this is all I can find. With all the searching Agumons we have, we can definitely try to find this as quick as possible. We do all those checks, and there's Digivolve for game. That's it. Once we push out, if we have the full combo lineup, whatever, with the perfect stack for this, getting at least three security checks, swing, unsuspend, swing, clear the security out, have this in hand, you just drop this, and it's a GG. That's all you need. You need to show your opponent, and they can scoop and, be salty for days. That's it for the Digimon. We got our Tamers up next, which is a weird lineup, but hear me out. Got 2 red ties here, which is the security plus ties. 2 of the new ties here that gain us blocker on play and start of turn with plus 1000 in blocker, and also this acts as like Cool Boy. This is our Cool Boy, by the way. And then we have, before I continue with that, and then our Yuya's here. So hear me out. This is the 6 tamers we got here. I did have this stack right here gone. It was Cool Boys. It is cool, but to be honest with you, since our main lineup is this card, it does not have X antibody, and what the Cool Boy was doing is bottom decking these, and it's just messing my day up. So Black Tie came in. This came in instead of a Cool Boy, which is really nice because we can go up and Digivolve up, unaffected by options. Which this card is basically unkillable, just like Grandis. Unless actually, this is better than Grandis because if we have this with this effect, it can't. There's nothing you can do. It might as well be the OG Greymon, where it's unaffected by options. That's what it's going to be. Then we have this. I could probably bump this up to 3, to be honest with you, but it's been really good at 2, and we need this at 2 or 3. 2 is like the bare minimum. 3 is like your max, whatever. Getting an unconditional plus 1,000 in blocker at the always start of your turn is very cringe for your opponent because you can just sit with an Agumon and that'll help blocker. And then like that just foils their day. And then for our options, since we really don't mind the cat. She just wants to get out of the room. She's locked in here with me. Only running 2 of the X antibodies. We really don't need it, to be honest with you, because we're just digivolving in the back, counting to 5, just like Grandis Kawagumon. And then, if we do have this, that's cool. If not, who cares? It's just in the deck if we really need it. It's pretty much a flex spot, too. This honestly could be, like, Red Memboops if we really need to, whatever. We actually really don't need this. I mean, it's just really cool, like, you can go into this with X antibody down here and go right into X antibody Wargreymon. And then you keep doing your effects that way, and then blitz for game that way to get that 1 extra draw. But what must be a 2 of here is Hades Force. I'm glad they didn't hit this card because Hunter deck's still out there, and it's just as... I say the word cringe every time, but cringe or how many tamers we're going to go and see. And they're going to be afraid of this card every time because even though it's not 13, not the magic number 13, but 12 is still pretty good to hit with this and just delete their whole backboard. And then you can swing the game that way. But that'll be for the deck here. Really not much to say with combo-wise. Basically, you're just building a stack in the back to level 5, pushing this out, go into this for 3 memory. You can reduce it with your ties here, like Cool Boy and game memory that way. Get plus security here, plus 2,000 if you really need to, whatever. So this will be even bigger. Like you can't lose. Once you push out that way, you're just clapping cheeks. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to get your geek on. We'll see you guys next time.